I went too far. Okay. Boring. Sorry. It's just piano. It's just piano and 3 chords, taking up 4 bars. Voice comes in and immediately gives us more rhythm. I was back in and we get a bit of a structure from that, sort of like 2 different phrases, with the da-da-da being something that both phrases have. Da-da-da-ba-da-da-da, and then I guess we have da-da as a coda to that, so we could see it as like an A, an A, and a B. So I think this one doesn't really have a pre-chorus. I think this has gone straight past the pre-chorus to chorus. We're fairly irregular for Aurora. We normally get that pre-chorus. Yeah, sudden pickup of the pace. No more waiting at the end of the first 2 bars.
Give me some love and hold me, give me some love and hold me tight.
Every single beat is on, so we're getting a bit of a dance music vibe from that. Yeah, I would say some other things too, but I can't quite pin what they are. The backing vocals are fun. They're just hummed. Ooh, I've just got a high frequency in my ear, but it's gone now. And just so you know, when you hear high frequencies like that and then they just fade, that isn't you never being able to hear that frequency again, because we don't hear frequencies on individual specific pitches with our cilia in our ears. That's not how it works. Just so you know, we have a complete range of pitches. We can do slides between them, right? So you don't just lose a particular pitch because that particular cilium dies. So you may well lose somewhat a range of pitches. I've heard of people losing like 6K because they've done so much production work that they can no longer hear around the 6,000 hertz mark, which is really depressing. But yeah, anyway, that's a deviation from the main goal here. Yeah, I went too far with my deviation.
Crying, give me some love, give me some love.
So that's almost like another melody. It's just coming at the beginning of the bar and give me some is happening at the same time. So they overlap each other. Do they work together or do they work against each other? I haven't quite decided. Have we got any other instruments in here, or is it just vocals and drums?
And hold me, give me some love and hold
Maybe piano?
me tight. Oh, give me
Other things are sort of hidden behind a wall, aren't they? Some far away reverby sounds, but it's mainly the vocals and the drums. Are there? We've had those occasionally. They've been here, yeah, from time to time. Right from the Awakening first track, we've had pause bars from time to time. Although those ones were quite special because they came after the verses and even in between verses, which isn't something that we've heard very often. But here they come at the end of the chorus. We're used to that kind of thing. Back into the verse. Now this verse feels a little more on maybe even than that chorus.
I went too far when I was begging on
Got synth
my
very
knees.
clearly here. And still some stuff in that background space just whirling around. But we've got that synth bass and we've got drums very clearly. And we've got some kind of thing occupying that open space as well. And the drums being here makes a big difference to this verse.
On my knees.
Dum, ba, ba, dum, ba, bum, ba.
When I
What's that? I don't know. It could be a piano to some degree, or totally. It could be a guitar. I don't know. But it's going blink, blink, blink with a bit of a delay on it.
cut my hand so you could stand and watch me bleed.
Very similar melody to the, I would say, to the second verse part that we heard before, rather than the second part of the first verse. I mean, the second part of the second verse, if you know what I'm talking about. Good. But nonetheless, we're getting the same thing of having the first part of the verse low, and then here we're finding different ways of filling that void in these 2 verses. And here we've got some harmony vocals filling that void with some ums. So again, not taking the limelight really, just keeping nice and soft. We've still got that filling that void too. So we've got that that we had in what was that in? I think it was in Lucky, wasn't it? But here it's not quite as pacemaker feeling. It doesn't feel like a real thing all the way through your body. It's just that bright kind of feel of the melody. Then we've got that something similar to that. 3 different phrases and then a pause. So they're more or less equal. They have maybe some more complexity to them, but then we get this pause taking up where we would have maybe a 4th one if we wanted. So A space. And that makes a lot of sense, because now we've got maybe a second part of the chorus or a post-chorus. Here it goes. And so they're tied. We hold that even longer. Aurora holds that, but then the other vocal of Aurora comes in underneath. Tied, or so on the same note. Tied, why can't I? And then we carry on into what sounds like a post-chorus or a chorus part 2. Nice, fun. Not from the on vocals of the chorus, give me some love, to the why can't I, to the softer vocals after this chorus. So kind of like what happened at the end of Conqueror, where we lost the strength, but we kept the texture strong. We just let the vocals go into a softer area. It's really sort of euphoric feeling. And they're also harmony here, whereas they weren't in the main part of the chorus. The drums have picked up as well. We've got a kind of dum ticka ticka dum kind of thing going on. Yeah, there's a lot of little things coming through. There's a plinky, like a triangle kind of sounding thing somewhere in there. It's quite a thick texture, and I'm at a low level of energy at this point, so I can't quite dissect that in the way I would want to.
I'm left behind.
A little bit of an extension there on that last bar on there that we wouldn't expect, making it a 9-bar section as opposed to an 8-bar section. And then bridge.
Behind.
So, sorry, before I go on, we've had double choruses before in Aurora and in that second chorus place, but here we've had a chorus and then a kind of different version of the chorus, a chorus part 2 or a post-chorus. I guess I would call it chorus part 2 because it keeps most of the elements of the chorus the same. But yeah, it's different words and it's different melody. So what do you call it? It doesn't really matter. But it's a different idea than just repeating the chorus, but nonetheless it shares some of the DNA with that. Anyway, leading us to our bridge, right? We've taken that melody, which was not really a melody, but it was that lower part of the texture in the chorus, and we've got that here too. Okay, so it's almost like polyphony really, but it's a little bit of a overstatement to say it's polyphony, because they're not really taking the focus from each other or making a really intricate web of anything. It's just 2 different parts playing at the same time, and sometimes coinciding and sometimes doing things at different times.
Oh, give me some love.
Okay, this is an interesting thing. This feels like an actual proper build out of the bridge, but it's using the give me some love down an octave from normal. So it feels like it's building, using the chorus stuff back into the chorus, which is fun. You could imagine doing that live, right? So you get everyone to sort of slowly repeat that chorus, and then you're just building and building, and they're just repeating, and you just wait to drop absolutely into the chorus again. Love it. Interesting percussion here.
Oh, give me some love.
It sounds a bit like a cowbell, so maybe that's the thing that was producing that really bright metallic sound in the chorus.
Oh, give me some love.
It's actually quite an unusual rhythm, but as we say, we're not doing rhythm right now, so we don't need to care about that. We've got another fizz sweep, maybe, into the next section. So just 4 bars of build there with nice harmony vocals on the 3-part harmonies again, maybe more actually, but definitely 3. Into the chorus, surely. Yeah, there it is. So we keep those harmony vocals there. We don't just go back to the one vocal on that lower part. That's nice. And we've got the main vocal slightly different to normal. And have we got everything else? Yeah, it was there, but an extra bar layered on the end. So again, it was 9 bars long. That's an interesting thing. Normally you would use that as an unexpected thing once. Why would you have it twice? I don't really know. I don't necessarily think it works twice. But now we're into what? Are we into another chorus? We've got the same harmony vocals from the chorus. We've got those. Okay, and those are our ending motif with the piano chord just guiding us out on the echo. Cool.